Today on Free Field Training, we're going to be talking about my duty bag. This becomes a very popular topic with most people on the channel, and I know you're not really here to see me, so I've kind of set both of the cameras up in a way that you can better see the bag and the gear that's inside of it. So sorry about the awkward angle if you don't like it. What I'm going to be doing is going through the bag as if I was sitting in the car, so I'm sitting here next to the table that has the bag on it. The lighting's a little better than here than in the car, so I'm sure you guys will get by. Also, stick around for the end of the video. Lots of the comments and questions you might have might come up in the live stream, and I live stream these videos on Instagram so that people can watch them live and comment back and forth with me about the content that I'm making for YouTube. If you're interested in being part of that conversation, follow me over on Instagram. It's Tommy_freefieldtraining. There's also going to be a link down in the description. There's also links and coupon codes and all that for everything that you see in the bag and the bag itself and everything else around here down below. I try to keep up on those so that people can find the stuff that I'm talking about. So without further ado, let's get into the bag. This bag is a vehicle organizer bag made by 221B Tactical. I got it a couple of months ago. I've been using it at work. It's kind of a smaller, like a double briefcase size duty bag, which means the organization of it has to be a little tighter in order to keep it to the point where you can keep all of your stuff in it and find it all. It does have a lot of very interesting features that are useful and utilitarian for law enforcement, including lots of separated large pockets that allow you to keep things in the duty bag where you might need them to get out of the car quick instead of having to go to the trunk or having to reach all the way across to the far side of the bag. It does mean that I have to pare down a little bit with the garbage that I keep in the bag, and by garbage I mean literally the garbage, so all the spare change and stuff I have to find a different place for, but that's probably good for me anyway. On the exterior of the bag, there's MOLLE webbing on one side, and then on the other side is a plastic panel where you can put a card with your name in it. That's important for a lot of people, especially if you have a whole agency that's all using the same bag. And then you've got a Velcro panel that a lot of people use to put morale patches or a name tape on, or they put a big patch that says police for reasons I still have no idea. I keep my Eagle Scout flag patch that I got from a guy off of Facebook on there. If you guys are interested in getting one, if you're an Eagle Scout, I guess I'll put a link to his Facebook down below. He probably won't like all the attention that it'll get, but it'll be fun. On the outside of the bag, I always keep spare pens, and I keep a tire pressure gauge because the tire pressure monitoring system on my 2017 Ford Explorer has started to crap out on me. So that has become an important part of my daily routine, is checking the tire pressure. The closest pouch to me, it's a zip open pouch on the front of the bag, and inside I have a container of hand sanitizer, a well-used container of hand sanitizer, that sits where I can pump hand sanitizer out to myself without having to take the pump out of the bag. This means I keep one extra cup holder free, and I can always get it because it's sitting with a console between me, and I just pump it, I get my hand sanitizer. It's a lot faster to get sanitizer without having to like dig through the bag or anything. That's a nice little thing. Not really a feature of the bag, just something I found out I could do. Inside here, I keep my personal effects things, so I can clip my keys to it if I want to, and I keep my medication, and so I keep a bunch of anti-diarrheal, cold medicine, and some ibuprofen in here. That's really huge, especially on midnights. And I keep a spare pair of handcuffs on the off chance I should need them, mostly for prisoner transports to Markham or 26 and Cal. And that's pretty much it for the front pocket. This far pocket that has the Velcro on it, I keep the handyman secret weapon, duct tape, in tactical black, so that way you can fix things on the squad without anybody knowing that you fixed them. I keep a can of OC spray. This is the can that I was issued. It was manufactured in 2003. You can see how much I use this stuff. And a container of SPF 100 sunscreen, because I'm bleach white, and even in the winter, sometimes sunscreen is necessary. In the winter, you definitely want to apply this, then let it dry, then go outside. Pro tip. And finally, in this bag, I keep an extra mag. This has become less of a thing because we have fewer and fewer people using 40 caliber now that my department has gone to 9mm Winchester Ranger, which is a great 9mm round, much better than the stuff that I'm stuck using. I will probably convert over to 9mm in the long term. So I used to keep this mag to be able to hand it to a new guy when they were supposed to get issued ammo and never did. Now I have it in here, it's just kind of in there for me. Maybe I'll go to 45 just to piss the internet off. Who knows? Who knows what crazy things I'm going to do? So, past these front portions, there's a splitter in the middle. I keep a BB pistol and cartridges and BBs in here. You can also access them from the other side of this panel. You'll see that in a second. This is like a quick access slot. I don't really need this as a quick access slot, but I didn't need it for anything else. So the BB pistol goes in there. That's for training new people. We don't really work in an environment where we can just kind of go to the range and hang out, or go to the woods, or go to the desert and shoot. So this is a way that we can go to the forest preserve, or an industrial district or something like that. Go underneath a bridge, pop off some BB shots with something that's got a terrible trigger when you got somebody who's having trouble qualifying. So between dry fire practice and the BB gun, I can get most people at least qualled when they first go back to re-qual. You'd be amazed how much that comes in handy when you've got new people that have never used a gun before the police academy. So these two pouches and that middle panel are on a panel that hinges from the bottom. So there's two clips up here, and then there's a Velcro strip here. Ideally, that would be used to be able to just slap this panel up to the Velcro strip. But I have so much stuff kind of shoved in here because it's really convenient for me that I can't use it. I have to clip it, which is nice. So I throw this whole thing in the car, I seatbelt it in, and then I unclip these, and then I can get to the stuff inside. Even without them unclipped, I can get this stuff out of here. So I have my traffic vest. There's some of that change that I talked about that always ends up in my bag. I'm terrible with that, throwing change all over the place inside the car. So I got my traffic vest in here. So now instead of having to reach across and get into a pouch, I can just grab it and go. Keep a traffic baton in here. This has been really convenient for not using up all the power on my flashlight. So I can have something that's much better for directing traffic and not use up the battery on my flashlight. And then if this goes bad, I still have the flashlight battery. Got a whole video on directing traffic. Check those links up there and down below to see the rest of my directing traffic video. As you can see, there's straps here that regulate how far down this panel leans, and then on the inside of the panel is a zipper pouch that makes it a lot easier to get to the stuff that's in here. In here I have an electronic flare. Haven't used this a whole lot. Got it in a shield box or some such a few months ago, and since I only have one of them, it's hard to really evaluate it. We need to run it over with a car on a live stream sometime and see how it does. Leave a comment below if you want to see me run more things over on a live stream. And then in here, I've got an extra flashlight. This is the Olight Warrior X. It's kind of my backup duty light. So what I've managed to do is keep my personal stuff up here, things I might need quick access to, then the traffic directing stuff and a spare duty light on the front where I don't have to unzip a bunch of pouches to get to it, but where it's still not going to come flying out if I get into an accident or have to make a hard stop. And then all the administrative stuff I keep inside the bag. One last thing on the outside of this bag, I have a 911 gear glove holder that attaches to the handles that are on the outside of this bag. So there's kind of a laptop bag type handle at the top, a split bag like the top of a duffel bag, and then there's grab handles on both sides that are reinforced on this car organizer, and then there's the shoulder strap that I use to attach it to the car seat. Onto one of the grab handles, I just attached a glove holder pouch on here. Allows me to keep duty gloves right on me in here. It's right in the seat next to me, so I just unclip it and put them on. These are 221B's needle resistant gloves. If you follow the channel, you've seen me stick myself a couple of times testing these gloves. Go check that video out. These are pretty good needle resistant gloves. We've got a couple pairs of these in long-term testing with me and other people at the department. So far, the results are pretty good. More on those in that video. When you unzip the main compartment of the bag, we've got all of the administrative stuff. So this is my other duty light, Streamlight Stinger. This isn't supposed to be in there. I have two of these. I have a Streamlight Stinger and a Streamlight Stinger LED, and I forgot to take this one out before the video. My other one died out the other night, and so I went home and grabbed that one. I've got my ticket book holder. We're going to have a little video on this shortly. I'm going to put a link up there and down below when I do it. talking about how these holders work and what's inside a cop's ticket book holder. Got a couple of books of parking tickets. Got a spare radio battery. These are so much nicer and more convenient than the old ones. And I've got a pair of binoculars. Ideally, I would love to find a MOLLE pouch for these binoculars and attach them to the front. That's kind of in long-term planning. I really don't want to mess the binoculars up, and it's hard to find a pouch that's this exact size. I thought it was just going to be a matter of going to the Army surplus store. No luck there. Behind that, I have my clipboard. My clipboard is a posse box clipboard, and then inside of here, I've got all of my paperwork for work. So everything gets organized in here. I've got a whole video on organizing all of my paperwork and what's inside this posse box, and then keeping markers and whiteout and all of that. I'll put the video up at top or down below in the description. You guys can see more about paperwork. But basically what I have is I have a bunch of these sleeves, these colored sleeves, and I can put different paperwork front and back on the sleeves and then keep them all in the box, and I can pull out what I need without needing a really big folio. It's a great way to save space. At the back of the bag, I've got some pads that don't fit inside the posse box. Well, you've got the short form order of protection notice thingamabobbers that just came out a little while ago. They come in their own pad with multiple copies and then press-throughs and stuff like that. It's a little oversized for my posse box, so I just keep them separately in here. Sometimes I'll have what's called an I-bond book in here, and that's if I'm going to go out and I'm going to write a whole bunch of suspendeds for a day, I can bond people from the street with an I-bond book. So there's a big open pouch back here if you want to keep a clipboard or bond books or whatnot in the back, and then there's a bunch of vertical pouches here. Now this whole bag, let me get everything off of here. This whole bag, you can kind of pick your size on it, which is kind of cool. If I wanted to take this to a conference or something, there's a zip around system, so you can zip this closed and compress the total size of the bag into something that's more the size of a laptop bag instead of the size of a small duffel bag. Most of the time though, I just leave this open. It allows me more space. And in these bags, I need a lot of space because everybody knows I love junk and I love gear, and I try to shove it all into the bag. There's also backpack straps on the back of this. This is not something that I generally use, but in case you want them, there's backpack straps on the back. You unzip the top, pull them out, and then there's a little polymer clip and a D-ring, and you clip it on there, and then you have a backpack. In case you're the person that needs to carry, their duty bag a couple hundred yards between the building and the car or the garage or whatever. So that is my duty bag as of January 2020. I always have new bags that are in the rotation, new stuff that's coming to the channel all the time. So if you're interested in this type of material, check that out. Links and coupon codes for pretty much everything you've seen here. It's going to be down in the description below. I know that there's a coupon code on the bag itself if you're interested in the bag. And I know the gloves, and I think the baton, and a couple of the flashlights. So check those out. And until next week, you guys be safe, take care of each other. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down in the comments below. Ryan Ace Getzer says, best advice for a patrol security guard, just got hired. Best advice? The day you get on the job, start thinking about your next job. Most of those jobs, unless you have something that's paying $20 an hour or more, you're constantly looking for that better job, that better contract. So unless you have a really high-end security job making $20 an hour or more, start thinking about your next job. That doesn't mean don't do the job you have now well. That means do it very well, make a good name for yourself, and start thinking about building your resume for getting a better one. Shaggy Williams 556 says, what a coincidence. I literally was about to watch your old video on this. I have several duty bag videos. Please go check them all out. Gordon Rao says, another good tip for duty bags is don't put a bunch of useless in there, keep only the essentials. Well, keeping only the essentials is great, except you don't know what the essentials are going to be, and we all have a tendency of losing stuff. So if I know it's something that I'm needing the front seat of the car with me, I keep it in here. If not, it goes in the trunk. Honestly, though, I only walk this thing like 10 feet. If this weighed 150 pounds, I only have to walk 150 pounds 10 feet. The car carries the bag. Now, if this was my backpack going camping or something, yeah, totally, weight's important. But this isn't a nut and fancy video. This thing, it doesn't matter what it weighs, because I'm not going far with it. Random Citizen says, hey Tom, do you ever get annoyed by the way people treat you in an introductory setting? Example, hey, this is a cop. Literally no one treats you like a normal person anymore without slapping a label on. No. Because people don't generally introduce me that way. The only place that really happens to me is like at my kid's school, or if they're telling someone who does a lot of illegal stuff and probably wants to know not to say crazy stuff around me. But really, I'm not that type of cop. Whatever it is you're doing, you know, if you like have kids in a house and a car and stuff, whatever it is you're doing, I probably don't care about. Like, unless you're beating your wife, I really don't care. So it's not too big of a thing. And most of my close friends either are cops or have been close friends, you know, longer than I've been a cop, and so it's not, I go to their parties and it's not, I'm not, hey, it's Tommy the cop. It's, hey, that's Wyatt and Emma's dad, you know, like people don't care. It's not like I'm going locking people up at parties. Landon010 says, you got a cold or it is just cold? It is just cold. It's like 30 degrees in there. I've got my space heater going. It works about as well as could be expected. I totally forgot again to get the propane. So, well, that's it. All right. I'm going to edit this stuff up, hopefully kick some videos out for you guys. Hope you'll like them. I'm not sure how any of this came out because I can't really see the monitors too well today, so if they're all blurry, we might have to shoot it again. Until next week, you guys be safe. Take care of each other. Hey, thanks for watching Free Field Training on YouTube. While you're here, check out one of our other videos, or head on over to the Patreon and see how you can get your name put on your videos like these fine folks over here. All the links are in the description, of course. We'll see you guys next time.